Namaste, my name is Sanat Kumar. Welcome back to the Manana podcast. Manana is a Sanskrit word that means reflection or contemplation. In this podcast, I'll be sharing my deep, insightful reflections for you to contemplate and hence live a life of fulfillment. I hope you find great value in today's episode. The Pot of Solitude. I call it that because that helps me explain and make you understand the essence of solitude. Imagine the essence of solitude is like an elixir. I mean, everything that it brings and the blissful nature of itself. And imagine you have your pot where you store that elixir. That's the pot of solitude. We've given up to this distracting modern world to stay strong and preserve that elixir from being evaporated off the pot of solitude. So now we are not able to conserve and preserve the essence of solitude for long. Of course, there are exemptions. There are probably dozens or maybe even hundreds of people who can do that. Saints and the gifted ones, other deliberate practitioners. Of course, when I say gifted ones, it's just to make the conversation easier. Okay. However, I'm not one of them. I'm not a saint. I'm not a gifted one. I intend to walk in their paths though. So people like me get exhausted, bored, lazy, natural, right? How about you? You've never out of that sense of completeness? When you feel that, it's because it's time to refuel the pot of solitude. When I wrote this blog on 23rd January 2022, I was under verb of silence. It was half complete, a few words to go, most complete actually. I do this often. I just say I'll be silent tomorrow and I'll stay silent. I usually prefer weekends when I don't have to teach or be taught. Of course, don't think I'm some maniac. I'm not healthy and such things. I feel very healthy. I do this practice for various other reasons, and those reasons are out of the scope of this episode. I'm healthy. I'm grateful for my health. Let me come to the core of this episode, the call to action. Simple. Just don't talk for a day. Of course, for better effect, you may try not talking for a few more days, weeks, or even months if you can. But that may not be feasible for any of us as we are tapped in time. We are just busy doing what we do. However, one day cannot be a no for anyone, right? Really, nothing can be an excuse if you say you can't not talk just one day. You're just avoiding it, right? Anyway, here's how you do it. Just tell your family about your silence day. Of course, you need not say if they are not supportive of you. Then just be aware an entire day of your brain trying to communicate, but do not talk. And by the way, it does not count if you stay silent when nobody's at home. What's the point? It's to observe yourself when you're trying to talk and you're restricting yourself not to talk, right? So that should refill your pot of solitude. I won't say that you'll find solutions to every problem you have in life or that they all vanish magically, but I can tell you this. In most cases, it gives you at least one insight or a solution to a problem or a mental pullback you're experiencing before. And even if it didn't, even if you don't come up with an insight or a solution, you'll definitely be washed over by the pure solitude you let your body and mind experience for just one day, right? And for starters, it may at least make you conscious of the words when you talk. Of course, its benefits are far beyond just that, but it is probably the most primitive way to self control, and it is something that can spark a spiritual journey in you. I hope you received excellent value in today's episode. To know more, head over to sanatkumarnabi.com, and if you haven't already, check out my book, The Flower of Fulfillment. Thank you for listening, and I wish you have a great day.